Hey gang, welcome back. Drinking on the fly. Hey man, this is our fourth episode. If you're watching this first, there's three more episodes back there. We dropped our first four episodes. This has been a little bit of a project of love with Kyle and I. We've been working to get this off the ground. We really hope you enjoy it. Please like, subscribe, and share if you do. Give us fly suggestions. Let us know. We're going to have some great guest judges on coming up in the future. So it's drinking on the fly. I'm pretty sure that Kyle is going to continue on his Buffalo Trace run. Um, Public House Brewing Company is going to be sponsoring a lot of these shows, but um, last show I drank first and I couldn't find my super glue. Do you remember that, Kyle?
I do.
Well, I found out my son came down to my fly table and got my super glue. So that is not my fault. So there will be a full video of that fly with super glue and gluing the eyes on the channel. Go back and look for that. But in honor of me tying first, I'm going to be drinking an Imperial IPA. This is a Sweetwater 420, and I like the beer because they have a trout on it. Kyle likes it because it says 420.
Yeah. Bonus.
This is an Imperial IPA at 9.1%.
Man.
Yeah.
You might
This is one of
lose your
those where you don't drink an entire can in the half-hour episode.
Yeah.
Pour that in there, and of course I'm using my Public House pint glass. If you're ever in mid-Missouri by St. James near Rolla, go by Public House. I go by there every time I'm in the area, which is not enough, and I always get the smoked trout fritters, and I love them. So, Kyle, since I get to go first, I am
Yeah.
going to tie a stealth bomber.
All
Now,
right.
this is a pattern. It's a foam pattern fly. River Road Creations, Tony out at River Road Creations, a great guy. You can listen to him on the Kayak Flyer podcast. Um, he's been on with me several times, and I caught out of a relatively small pond. I caught my personal best out of this pond with a stealth bomber this summer. I don't know what it is about it. Top water, late evening. This is a great fly. So if you're sitting here and you're thinking about, oh, I should have been out doing more top water last year with the fly rod, tie a couple of these up this winter. And this is a great thing you can get. The stealth bomber cutters from River Road Creations. Trust me, you want to go ahead and get that. So, without any further, I'm going to go ahead and start tying the fly and telling you guys a little bit about it.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to be moving my microphone here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use, and you can use any heavy thread you want to. I've just got some nano silk. So originally, this cutter is kind of made to fit onto a B10S hook, which is a solid hook in size 1. I have found the MS 100 size 2/0 big game hooks from Fly Tires Dungeon work really well. And so that's what I'm going to tie it on. Um, any tailing material will work for this. I'm a schlappen guy and I like mine to look a little bit more froggy. And you can make these as long as you want them. It depends on the fish you're fishing for. Um, if I were going to tie it to be pretty, I would tie a big schlappen tail on it. I'm going to tie this one to fish. So I'm just going to strip back some schlappen to where they match, run them across each side. And there are two ways you can do this. My preferred way, and this is because I'm cheap, um, I'm either going to use some NK dubbing by Fly Tires Dungeon, cut the waist off, make a dubbing loop, and wrap it. But I'm going to tell you one of the things that I really like to do, and this is what I've done a lot of. I really like to just grab those two pieces of schlappen, pull them back, spin them, And like I said, there's not a right way or a wrong way on this one. But this is just what I like to do. I do my, instead of using dubbing on my pig jigs, I've started doing this. It sort of reduces weight, but it gives you a lot of body material. And before I do that, I need to tie in my, before I do that, I need to tie in my stealth bomber. I get excited when I'm rapping, schlapping.
That's a good idea right there.
I'm a schlapping guy. I'm going to do something a little bit extra with this one, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to have this make an S over itself. And that's what you're going to do. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of room here because I'm going to show you a trick that I like to use. So I'm going to tie this in. I'm going to just, I'd say a little over 1/8 of an inch with the cutter, with the regular cutter cut. I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch behind the hook eye. And then I'm going to wrap my schlappen, run that back up to the front. And then I'm going to wrap my schlappen. And what this is going to do, again, this is just going to simply be an underbody and just get some more leggy movement. Now, you can tie this like you would any normal popper. You can put rubber legs back there. You can put rubber legs on the side. This is really a fly that the foam body is what matters. Everything else is just bonus. And so I'm going to stop that right at the front of that foam. That's where I like to stop mine at. And then I'm just going to take a pair of junk scissors. Lord have mercy. And cut that right off. All right, now I'm going to wet my fingers and splay these down to the side so these legs are even more down toward the bottom. And I'm going to pull this over. And now this is where, when you're doing this extra move, this is where it gets tricky. I like to have that little rump up. So it almost looks like a Master Splinter, where that body comes up and the schlappen comes out. It almost looks like a Master Splinter. Then I'm going to wrap this off right at the front. Now, because I'm a big fan of River Road Creations, I also have their popper cutters. And occasionally I'll get a piece of waste off that popper cutter. And whenever you cut the poppers, you wind up with a little bitty nooch of waste. I like to throw that right here. Wrap this stealth bomber over like that. So this is what makes it a stealth bomber. You've got this popper head. And then I like to come in behind it and wrap. But I've got this big eye here. So what happens, and you don't have to have this big eye. You don't have to have it. But what happens is this body back here is sort of a cover for it. And it's going to go down. But with that extra addition, and this is any kind of foam you want to put in. You can use the bigger foam. This is the 1/4 inch. I have used all the way up to the, 1/2 inch for a foam eye, and it works great. But anyway, you just wrap that around like that, come back up here, clean up the eye a little bit, wrap it around, and then you can just whip finish. And this is a great fly for those summer evenings, those warm evenings when top water is happening. And like I said, you can make this look like a frog. You can make this look like a bug. This is an incredible fly. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Let me turn this a little bit toward the camera, maybe a little bit better. But this is just a killer pattern. And you can come back in here with a razor blade and cut those eyes off so they're level. But man, I'm going to tell you what, if you just take a piece of Zonker and run out the back and then wrap with that schlappen around there, it looks like a Master Splinter. You can do so many things with this. Take some Fly Tires Dungeon bug legs, tie a couple of legs off that, or use Zonker strips and tie a couple of little strips of leather off that with the really thin Zonker strips. Man, you can do so many things with this stealth bomber pattern from River Road Creations. I think it's amazing. So yeah, Kyle, you can definitely tell that I miss summer because I'm tying that top water pattern. What are you going to tie for us tonight?
I'm gonna tie like a rabbit zonker. You just mentioned zonkers.
Yep.
Basically like I mean it could go as a leech, but it's really gonna be like a little bait fish pattern, dark bait fish pattern. So I'm gonna use rabbit zonkers. You can use squirrel. And then I have a little bit of flash, kind of the same flash I used in my Clouser minnow. And then I'm going to use some crazy legs to hang off the sides of it. And then I'm actually going to tie on. It's actually going to be, you mentioned this hook at the beginning of yours, the B10S
Yeah.
hook. That's what I got here. And then I just got a cone on top.
I want to get you some of these fly tire dungeons, and I want you to tie the two of them together and see what you think. I like them.
I
Quick
need
question.
to get me some of their hooks. I haven't tied on any of their hooks.
Oh, well, that's that. We'll get you taken care of. But one question, talking about rabbit zonkers. How successful have you been with a double bunny?
A double bunny?
Yeah. Have you ever tied one of those and trout fished?
Nope. I
Really?
have. Nope. I've never
We'll
tried
have to
them.
do a double bunny.
I mean, I'm willing to try. There's tons of stuff that I'm.
It's just two zonker strips, one on bottom and one on top.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and maybe
I've
a
probably
bead
seen it
eye if you
before.
want it to be heavier.
And that, I'm
It's
sure that would work.
it's outlawed from the one fly challenge fly fishing.
Really?
Yeah. I think the
If
guy
that's
won it 3 years
successful,
in a row.
do what?
I think the guy won it 3 years in a row when they outlawed it. I've not had
Wow.
great success. I've tied a lot of them. I haven't had great success, but rabbit zonkers are a great material.
Yeah, I love them. They can be a little stiff sometimes, but I mean, once you get them wet, they're good.
Are you using a Magnum or regular cut?
This is a regular cut, and then I have like the mini ones or the micro ones. But since I'm tying on one, I'm just gonna do this regular. You could use Magnum on this for sure, but I don't have any of them.
Well, so many things in my life are Magnum that I just go ahead and buy the Magnum zonkers.
Nice.
Like 357 Magnum, 7mm Magnum,
And then,
I don't know what you were thinking, you dirty bird.
You never know with you. And I'm going to use Nano Silk for my thread here. And then I don't
Nano
shove any
Silk.
lead in there. And
So
I know
what?
a lot of people,
Yours don't have lead in them?
No. A lot of people will wrap lead wire around here and shove it up into the cone. I don't do that because whenever I get my my zonker up there, it tucks into the cone.
Okay.
So if you do the lead, it's too bulky.
And I think it kind of also depends on where you're fishing too.
Yeah, this is a tungsten cone head though. It'll get down.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So,
that's the
but I guess
tungsten
if it's
heads.
really deep.
Yeah, they're more expensive, but they do
Yeah.
save you a lot of aggravation.
Yeah, they're definitely more expensive. But and I'm just cutting off some hair here from a rabbit.
Is that
actually save?
Did you raise that rabbit?
Huh?
Did you raise that rabbit yourself?
I didn't. My dad used to raise rabbits when he was young, but there we go.
So and what color was that zonker again?
This zonker is, I think it's called charcoal.
So it's a darker gray?
Yeah, charcoal colored. It's like a dark gray to like a black at the tips. It's nice dark color.
And those dark colors really work well in stained water and on cloudy days.
Yep.
I know I have tied a number of flies. Just like the stealth bomber I tied, I can tie it in white with pink schlappen. And on sunny days or earlier in the day, it works a lot better than the black with the olive.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to go sometimes by the weather. If it's sunny or dark, if it's dark, use dark. If it's light, obviously anything shiny that'll reflect that light works great.
Have you looked at, or maybe you're like me, the more I tie, the more I go toward extremely light reflective colors or
Yeah,
just straight
sometimes.
white and black.
Like, oh, you mean the thread?
No, for my materials, I've gotten to the point where I use just a lot of white and black.
Oh, yeah. I used to buy when I first started. I used to buy all kinds of crazy colors. Pink, purple, yellow, stuff like that. But realize I don't really need all those colors
Yeah,
because, well, I mean, you can for some things, but yeah, I do buy a lot more natural colors now.
yeah.
Black, white, gray, dun kind of weird gray colors,
Hmm.
tans, different olives. Yeah, the only color thread I really buy anymore is black, white, gray and olive. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll hit a lot of the white thread with a Sharpie.
Hmm.
I do have colored threads, but um, depending on what you're tying, I guess, because some of them, all the threads covered up.
Yeah.
So if you're using red and you just have a little hot spot at the top or at the head of the fly, you could just hit your white thread with a Sharpie right there. You don't have to waste all that colored thread.
Right.
So,
I like to use red thread on my when I tie like you tied a Clouser minnow last time.
hmm
I like to use a red thread on those bodies to just give it a little bit of a bloodline in there,
yeah,
just an undercolor, but you can
yeah,
definitely just hit it with a Sharpie.
yeah. I've done different. I've experimented a little bit, yeah, with doing that kind of stuff for sure. I've done it like a rainbow clouser. I put like
Mhm.
4 different colored bucktails in there.
Mhm.
That actually helps you with material control because you want to pull out a whole clunk, but like I said in the last video, it builds up really fast,
Yeah.
so you don't want to use it. Luckily, with a rabbit, you don't have to worry about that, just because it's just one strip. Now you can here in a minute once you see me wrap up the other part of this, but I'm going to cut this now, kind of to length where I want it, and let's make it like right there. And I cut this at an angle. Try to anyway.
Now,
That.
rabbit's something you can use a good pair of scissors on. It's not going to tear it up like some of the other
Yeah,
materials.
yeah. I use my good scissors on that because the hide's not that thick.
Right.
Yeah, and I could have probably made that a little bit longer, but that's okay. Um, Now here, get a drink.
So you're again drinking Buffalo Trace.
I am.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you like that? Because I haven't yet to review the 420.
Why I like Buffalo Trace?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's easy drinking compared to a couple of some other ones. I like a lot of bourbon, but this one it's really easy drinking. I don't know why. Even neat. Like that's why I'm drinking this one. Um, the one before I was drinking a couple ice cubes. Um,
Yeah.
but
It's
it's just real easy drinking. It's not over. It's not like overly strong. Like some of them are like 110 proof. It's
right.
uh,
Buffalo Trace. I know we've talked about this before on the show. It's my favorite price point bourbon.
yeah, yeah.
It's not
It's
pappy.
only you can find it. I mean, I can find it around here for like $30. There's actually a place down the street that's selling it for 20. It's on sale. I think
You
they're
need to
selling it for like
pick up
26.
about a case of it because it's 34 to 38 down here.
Yeah, yeah. So
But I'm
um,
so old. I remember when that was $18 a fifth.
yeah. Oh no, I lost my hair.
No, don't do
there.
that.
Yeah, no, the cheapest I've seen it was 20, but most of the places around here you can get it for 30.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still kind of hard to find, just because everybody's getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to tie this part in here.
And what are you tying in there?
This is a same thing. It's a zonker, rabbit
But
zonker.
is it a
But
straight zonker? It's not a side cut or a cross cut?
it isn't a cross cut just because I don't have any.
Okay.
Yeah, typically yes. You could those do lay better when you're wrapping it, but no, I don't have any of the cross cut in this color. Um, so I'm just gonna use the regular.
Well, you know who could
Well,
help
good
you
call
out is
though.
Dooley Fly Fishing. DooleyFlyFishing.com, say 15% promo code kayak, and that helps the Drinking on the Fly YouTube.
Ooh. Yeah, we gotta get Dooley on here. That'd be fun.
I'm afraid to have him judge because he might judge off personality and then I would lose.
No, I don't know about that. But hold on a second. I'm gonna.
I tie a crawfish very similar to what you're doing. We'll have to get that on one of the other episodes, but I unfortunately found out on a fishing trip that when that rabbit gets that wet, a 4-weight is a little too much for it.
Yeah.
Or that flies a little too much for a 4-weight, I guess I should say. When
What
you're
size was it? Was
hauling
it a
and getting
size
ready to
one?
cast, it's fine, but once it gets wet, the 4-weight does not want to cast it.
I'm actually gonna unravel this here. It's not gonna wrap around there the way I wanted to.
You know,
So,
that's the wonders of doing things quasi live.
there we go.
If you guys are watching the show, leave us a comment. Would you rather see this with us sitting here and tying these things quasi live, you know, where if we have to make an edit, we can? Or would you rather see us clean the show up and make things a little bit more Hollywood style, I guess? I have a problem with that sometimes. I watch some and I'm like, why don't you have the stuff ready? And then I'm like, it's really hard to have it all ready. But then sometimes I appreciate the fact that I'm not the only guy who can't find his super glue.
Right. Oh, well,
Now, what kind of a vise are you using? Because I know it's a rotary vise, but you're still preferring to wrap.
yeah. So with this is it's a Renzetti.
Oh, big money.
Yeah, I mean I like it. It's my first real vice, so I wanted to spin. I don't know. I kind of went crazy, but instead of using the rotary, just because of the zonker, I want it to lay exactly where I want it to. Like I can use the rotary a little bit, but then I don't know. I think one of the reasons is because for so many years I was tying without a rotary, doing this kind of fly. So I just kind of got used to not using it. Now I'll check it sometimes after I'm done wrapping because I pull the hair back. I just I mostly use the rotary for like when I'm wrapping like tinsel and
Right.
wire, um, thread bodies even
Yep.
sometimes. Yeah, but
You know,
stuff
the
like
only
this.
real problem I have with my Griffin is I don't like the thread holder. And I've been, and I know Peak's not real, I guess Peak is not really a true rotary vise. And so
Um,
I've really been trying to decide if I want to keep my vise or move to a different vise.
Peak's not a true rotary vise.
I thought Nick said it wasn't a true rotary
Hmm.
because it doesn't, I don't think it, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Renzetti that's not, that it just spins. It's not a true handle on the back rotary.
I mean, the cool thing about this one is it has this little knob right here.
Mm-hmm.
This adjustment, so you can move the head of the jaws. You can move them
Yeah.
to make it true rotary.
And
I don't know
mine, you
about the
have to
other
use an
ones.
Allen wrench and move stuff, and it's frustrating.
Yeah,
And I like Griffin Vices. They're made in America. I'm not knocking them. I've had the opportunity to talk with them. They don't want to come on the show, which is fine. Bernie doesn't want to come on the show, but he's good friends with a lot of the guys that support the show. I'm not going to knock his Vice. It's just
right.
sometimes I really just wonder, like a lot of guys do, what Vice is what. And if you don't have a place where you can try one out, it's difficult.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to have an idea what it feels like tying on it. Although I didn't test this one out at all um, before I bought it. I just I looked at reviews and stuff like that, but ultimately just decided just to go for it.
Well, you've got 4 Norvices laying in the corner that you don't like.
Do I?
I said, you've got 4 Norvices laying in the corner that you didn't like.
4?
Yeah, I mean, you were buying Norvices like crazy just because you had all that money burning a hole in your pocket from Ludwig Outdoors and fly tying.
Yeah. Well, if I can get this to cooperate, which is not going to. Like I said, I usually like to use the cross cut, and it does help even with because usually what I'll do is I'll use a regular strip for the tail,
Mm-hmm.
and for when I wrap, I'll usually use a thinner um, strip. But
Right.
I'm using a regular thicker strip here, so it might just take me an extra minute here.
The question is, will it still catch a fish?
Oh yeah, it'll still catch a fish no matter what it looks like. But you know me, I like it to look good.
That 420 Imperial is a very sweet beer.
That sweet?
It's very sweet. I really like the Public House Dry Stout that we had on last show more than this one.
Let me see here. Well,
So, do you have any set of tools that you prefer to use?
any set of tools? I use a lot of I use a lot of the original tools I had when I bought my Cabela's Vice. Like to use the same whip finisher, old school whip finisher, nothing
Mm-hmm.
fancy. Um, uh, no, nothing crazy. I use some loon tools.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the original tools I have is like the old hackle pliers, the old English style hackle pliers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use anything super fancy. The only thing I have a lot of is well, not even a lot of, but bobbins. I got a couple loon bobbins, the right bobbin, and I even have my original bobbin I ever used, first started using. But no, I don't have a whole like arsenal of tools per se.
Bobbins were for me when I started tying. That was the hardest thing. I think I bought 3 and I liked 1.
Yeah,
And then I broke down and I bought a right bobbin, and I think now I have 6 of them,
you have 6 right
which
bobbins.
why I need 6 bobbins, I don't know. Probably because I'm lazy and I don't want to change threads. Um, but I wound up breaking down and buying the toolkit from Loon,
Okay,
and
you got the whole kit.
I like everything but the bobbin. Everything but the bobbin is great.
Hmm.
And it's not that their bobbin is bad, it's just that I've gotten accustomed to the right bobbin.
Yeah, well, it's what you get used to, really. Um, there's some threads that won't, like the spools, they won't fit in the loon
Yeah,
bobbin. Like
and that's
uni thread won't fit in
yep,
there. It's just too small of a spool. So if you like
yep,
using uni, it's probably not going to work.
right. And I think there's just some nuances about things that we as fly tires, let us know in the comments what you like, what kind of bobbin you like. I think that would be a good one. or what kind of scissors you like. I know there's been some debate online about there's a Loon scissor that has an adjustable screw in it. And I
I got those. Yeah, the razor scissors.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I got those.
I know there's been some people say, well, they don't work, and some people say, well, adjust the screw, and some people are, you know, nothing gets a fight faster than arguing about thread or scissors.
Right. Oh, dang it.
And we promise we won't do that on this show.
Yeah, I mean, I use whatever. I mean, I just use whatever. I mean, it doesn't. I use like my Dr. Slick scissors a lot. These little ones.
But those are so expensive. I can't see them being worth the price.
They're really expensive, but I tell you what, I've had these for over a year and a half now, and I mean, they still are as sharp as. I mean, I bought them when I bought them, but
I
I mean,
have
I
had
don't.
these for 10 years, and
Yeah,
they are so dull.
yeah,
I think their name is China.
yeah.
That's the only thing on them. But then I've got my Loon scissors and this is my thing. I'm so cheap. I'm afraid to use my good scissors.
Oh, really?
Oh, I've got scissors brand new in the package that I
What?
bought for when I used my good scissors, but I'm still
Yeah.
afraid to use them.
Oh man. Yeah,
I'm
bust them
that
out,
cheap.
man.
Hashtag new scissors for Sean.
All right. Sorry it's taking so long.
Oh no, you're fine, buddy. This is what the whole podcast is about. Or the podcast, my fault. The YouTube show's about.
Yeah.
When am
Usually,
I ever going to stop saying podcast?
never.
Never.
No. This is Here we go. Let's do. Oh, there's my hair. Okay. Like I said, I usually tie these with a the 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 hide that goes up towards wrapping around the shank. It's usually a thinner hide, and this thicker stuff gave me a little trouble. But now I usually I save the hair that I cut off the original zonker.
Oh, from when
And,
you strip the hide off to have a tie-in point.
yes, so I save that because of this right here. I use a little dubbing wax here,
Mhm.
and here's a little trick for dubbing wax I found. I use this dubbing wax here. It's just Wapsi dubbing wax.
That's what I have.
And yeah, works great. But I don't put it on the thread. I just put it on my fingers. Just put it on your fingers, and then grab your dubbing, and it goes on. Otherwise, you get all this on your thread. It gets in your bobbin tube, and it
Mhm.
clogs it up sometimes. I don't know. That's just kind of what I do.
I never thought about it like that, but that makes a lot more sense than what I've been doing.
Yeah, I used to kept doing it on my thread, and it kept bouncing and get all gunked up on here. I get
But when
clumsy
you
with
do it
it.
on your thread, you get clumps
Yeah, you
on
get
your
clumps. It
thread.
clumps on your thread. So what I do, I just pull it up. I just put it on my fingers, my thumb. Then I grab whatever I'm dubbing, which sticks right to your finger, and then put it on there.
And, that makes sense because because I've noticed my dubbing wax has gotten just stuff on it.
Yeah.
And that way your body heat melts it a little bit, makes it stickier than it would be if you put it on the thread.
Yep. Yep.
That's
It works
a
pretty good.
great bonus for our viewers.
Yeah, it's a nice little tip. I didn't even see that anywhere. I just kind of ran across. One day, I just got a bunch of dubbing on my fingers. And I was trying to wipe it off, and I just started grabbing dubbing, and it just went on there real good.
Yeah.
So I stopped putting it on here. Now the only wax I put on my thread is like thread wax, like
Right.
regular hard wax. I'll put that on there. But okay,
Mm.
well, I was gonna put legs and stuff on this, but since I totally botched this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and it is done. It is a finished fly. There's just no flash in it. Just gonna whip finish this real quick. And like I said, this ain't pretty, but um,
Well, it looks like a pretty fly to me. It looks like a fly that will definitely catch fish.
Yeah, it'll definitely catch a fish. I've caught fish on stuff like this. I've done them in black and olive, and so yeah, it'll definitely catch fish. It just doesn't. Sometimes I like to put a little flash in there,
Yeah.
but
The
tossing this out
thing
like you
is,
said on a cloudy day, it'll catch a fish.
a lot of flies are tied to catch fishermen more than they are to catch fish.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, a lot of times I'll sit down to tie, and I don't even know what I'm going to tie, but I just kind of just start grabbing material.
Hmm.
But I'll sit there and it'll take me 30 minutes to tie a fly sometimes just because I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm just trying to come up with something.
Yeah,
But
and what gets me is, and I know you know this from being a guest on my podcast and the friends that you have, and from being around the industry, which you and I have for God only knows how many years. Guide flies are called guide flies for a reason. They're quick to tie,
yep,
they're cheap to tie, and they catch fish.
yep,
And this show is, we're going to have a drink, we're going to talk, we're going to tie a fly, but by golly, some if we get people wanting to know guide flies, we'll show guide flies. If we get somebody asking about really fancy flies, we can do that because you and I are accomplished. You're an extremely accomplished small fly tire.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate that.
Not
Yeah, I mostly tie smaller flies. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you're taking a lighter on a bodkin and bending goose biots into legs.
yeah,
You're that guy. I'm
yeah. I like
tying
to,
for giant channel cat.
yeah, which is funny because I don't. It's funny because I bass fish more than I trout fish.
Yeah.
Because of the area I live in, but but yeah, I tie way more trout flies than I do bass flies. Now I'll tie a lot of bass flies, you know, just for me to go out and fish with. But I sell more trout flies than anything
Right.
because that's
And
what I
and
tie
your trout flies are amazing. I mean, anybody that follows you on Instagram at Ludwig Outdoors on Instagram, anybody that follows you will know what a great fly tire you are. And
Yeah,
hopefully, drinking on the fly, and folks we can try maybe the next two episodes. Do we want to try trout flies?
sure. Yeah, we can go bounce around a little bit. Yeah, go
We did
trout.
a hopper dropper the first two episodes. These next two episodes, they were more larger
Yeah,
patterns.
I'll throw this
Um,
one back in on the next one with the flash. I'll get the other zonker.
or just make a video and put it on our channel so people can see it.
Yeah, I'll do that. There we go.
There
I'll
we
just
go.
upload one there.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, I think it was episode 2. You tied a fly where you had tubing and you put wire through it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you were with me at Dooley's,
Yeah, he didn't have that color.
Dooley'sFlyFishing.com, say 15% promo code kayak, and you told me buy this wire and buy this tubing.
Hmm.
I spent 6 beers trying to get that wire through that tubing. I got a
Well,
quarter of an inch down.
how did you? Here you go. How did you try to put the wire in the tubing? Did
Well,
you
I
just try
held
to
the
jam it
tubing and I
in?
poked the wire and then I pushed it.
Okay, so here's the trick. Take your take the tubing. Here, I'm going to show you real quick.
All right, here we
Um,
go. This is bonus episode.
Hold on. Let me find my tubing here.
I've got my tubing and wire right here.
All right, we'll do this together.
Okay.
So, ugh. So this is a trick I found on YouTube. So this is not my idea. I didn't come up with this, but when I found it, it blew my mind. Um, so let me get this ready here. But yeah, I did the same thing you did. I was jamming the wire in the tubing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, forget it. I was like,
Yeah,
it ain't worth it. I'll
it's
just do
horrible.
tubing or wire. I'm not going to try to do this both. But let me cut a piece off here. Cut a little piece here and get a little bit of wire here. Whoa, there we go.
Yeah, I
Well,
made it a half an inch. maybe an inch. That's how far I made it right there. Right, that's
I
how
mean, it's
far I
not the
made it.
easiest thing, but here, this is so much easier. I swear, it's crazy how fast you can do it this way.
Do I leave my wire in to start, or do I have to take it all the way out?
No, you can leave it where it's at if it's in there.
Okay.
If it's already like a half inch in there, you can
Yeah.
just leave it there. So what you'll do here,
And my wire's kinking, by the way. This is how
yeah, that's what
bad it's
happens
been.
when you're pushing it in there. It'll kink and
Yeah.
then it's over. But
Yeah.
what we'll do, I don't know if you can see this very well, but so I'm gonna get mine in there because yours is already in the wire or in the
Right.
tubing. So hold on a second. Trick is just starting it. There we go. So you get it in there, and then instead of pushing the wire, you're gonna
Yeah.
twist. You're gonna twist the tubing.
Twist the tubing.
Just twist the tubing around the wire,
Oh, that is so much easier.
and it goes on there
Oh
like
my
you won't
goodness.
believe.
Yeah.
Just hold the wire and twist. Try to keep it straight. Of course, it is gonna kink once in a while, but
Right. But oh my goodness.
it works better for shorter strands. Don't try to do a real a 5 inch or 6 inch piece of tubing.
How long do you tie these? Because this was episode 2.
Yeah. How
How
long is a piece?
how how how
All
much
right.
do you do at a time for a fly?
Depends on how big I think I measured them out when I was doing a whole bunch of them. I think I measured it out as like let me see my rulers here. I did it. I think it was like 2.5 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches, because I like to keep a little bit of obviously a little bit of an in there. So when you're done wrapping, you got to cut it off.
Well, that is amazing. I'm doing this right now. I it's below the camera angle, but
Is it going through a
yeah,
little better?
I'm amazed. That is so much better than where I started.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll still kink up a little bit if
yeah. But
you got
that
a long
is
piece, or if you got a really jagged piece of wire. But
yeah,
if you just keep twisting, it'll go in there.
yeah. But I've got enough now. I've got enough for a fly.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
You don't
off
need a
that.
big piece because you're
No.
tying we're talking size 16, 18, 14.
Yeah.
So you don't need a very long piece. You can get away with an inch, inch and a half if you do a really small one.
Yeah. Well, there we go, guys. Hey,
Yeah,
little
just twist it.
bonus tip on this 4th episode, and then episode 5 and 6. We're gonna be releasing this every 2 weeks. Hopefully, we say a 30-minute episode. I think it's gonna be closer to a 45-minute. Kyle,
Yeah,
man, this has been great. Every time we get together, it's always a good time. I want to say thank you to Public House for they're going to sponsor a couple of the next shows. It looks like. I want to say thank you to Rick Weisenberg. I want to say thank you to Fly Tires Dungeon. I want to definitely say thank you to Nick Dooley and Dooley's Fly Shop and River Road Creations, which I use their cutter for my fly tonight. Anybody you want to thank, and make sure you plug people that want to buy excellent trout flies.
yeah. No, I want to thank definitely Dooley's. I mean, he's been a huge help. With me getting material. I like to support him, and well, thanks to you too. For doing the show with us. Together. So.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I mean, you know, Ludwig Outdoors guys, you guys can check them out and put in those orders for Christmas. Earlier the better. If you're going
Yeah,
to
if you
do
do want to
that.
order some flies, yeah, definitely get them in. I do work a full time job too, so
Oh
um,
no, you're employed full time. You don't work.
it does take sometimes a little bit longer to get them out, especially around the holidays. But so
And guys, check out the Kayak Flyer podcast. Follow both of us on Instagram. The Drinking on the Fly Instagram should be up and running by the time this hits. And hopefully the Drinking on the Fly Facebook will be. And I'm not real sure about Facebook, but we'll definitely be on YouTube. Anything we do live will be on YouTube. But check us all out, guys. And if you ever need to email us, you can email us at Drinking on the Fly if you have a fly pattern you want us to do. I know I have one. I have like 4 in my back pocket that I'm ready to throw out. But I know Kyle's got a couple too he's going to stump me with. Rick wants to come on. Al Beatty wants to come on and make us, he's going to give us a material list. And then he's going to judge our fly.
Oh boy, that could be fun.
So, guys, this has been great. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and support the show. Thank you so much.